Hey, hi everybody. My name is Jerry Wise, and I want to talk about bizarre ways narcissistic parents turn others against you and what they use and what mechanisms they use to turn other people against you. Then I also want to talk about some ways in which you can counter those things and begin to move out of that emotional location that you're in with them to a new self location. And we'll be talking more about that. First of all, they will use lies, gaslighting, distortions of the truth to turn others against you. Because the truth wouldn't be enough to turn others against you. Only lies, gaslighting, and distortions could do that. Because you are a likable, lovable, caring person. And they don't, that's not going to be to their advantage if you are seen in that light. And so they will tell others that you are, and all of these situations, I've had these real live situations with either myself or with, and I can think of some really crazy gaslighting and lies that people have said from my past that are, I just can't even believe how anyone would even think it could be true. But anyway, they will tell others that you're crazy. They'll tell others how irresponsible you are. They'll tell others how you really can't be trusted. You really can't be trusted. You can't be trusting Jerry now. He's an okay guy, but I wouldn't trust him. They will say you are unkind or hateful. They will say, well, he's pretty manipulative. And don't you see how calm I am? And Jerry just gets so reactive all the time. And again, the truth is the reversal of that, not what they're saying to other people. And then they will also convey this victim persona to others about how you just don't live up to your obligations as children, or loving an older parent, or respecting an older parent, and how they have suffered as a result of that. And again, they can even use your spouse or your family in that way. Well, Jerry was a really nice guy until he married so-and-so. And again, that puts out a negative message about me that is not even true. But if it will serve their purposes, they will use lies, gaslighting, and distortion of truth to do that. Second of all, another major area is money and gifts. Money is a powerful board piece in this game of narcissistic monopoly. And narcissists or narcissistic parents will use inheritance, straight out money, cash, college or cars or gifts, rent, jewelry, houses to purchase enablers or flying monkeys, or both. And again, that's a part of the narcissistic regime, because they have this whole regime out there. And I can purchase all these people to be against Jerry because I've given them college and cars and gifts and all kinds of things, or a promise of inheritance. And it solidifies the narcissistic cult. It solidifies that with money and gifts. And again, I know money can be quite appealing. Somebody offers me, you can have $3 million in my inheritance, but all you got to do is hate so-and-so. Okay, I'll have to think about that. That's a lot of money. Maybe it's not a lot for you guys, but it is for me. I still think I would come down to, but I don't think I can live with myself with that. Because I'm being bought to feel or think something I really don't think or feel. And oftentimes when you have this purchasing of enablers and flying monkeys, down at their core, they may not really believe the play that's being played out. But because of these other dynamics that are happening, lies, distortion, money, gifts, they somehow make it easier for them to believe. But truly down deep, they may not truly believe that. But they still are participating in it, and that's their choice. Parents will also and can use to turn others against you confidential information that they have. And they can use that information as currency with other people, again, to help them be enablers or to the narcissist, or flying monkeys for the narcissist. And they will spill out some of that information, again, to have people think ill of you. Marital issues. Maybe sometime along the way, the narcissistic parent knew you and your wife or you and your husband were having some arguments and having some difficulties. And then guess what? I don't really like my son's wife, so I'll go tell them how she's such a troublemaker. And they've had trouble in their marriage, and they've been arguing. Now, again, it may have nothing to do with what the narcissist is saying, but they can use that to turn others against you. Maybe you've lost a job. Oh, that can be turned against you as well. Financial troubles. Legal problems. God forbid you have a misdemeanor or felony. Then that's always currency that can be used as they are in trying to turn other people against you. Or addictions, or any number of things, weaknesses, things that can be used to shame you with other people. Well, my daughter, she's a nice person, but that affair was just really problematic. And again, it turns other people against others. And narcissists will do that. Narcissists will also take confidential meetings or secret meetings or meetings with family members without you to discuss you. And that's where we kind of form the cabal. The cabal where they all meet together and talk about you and how you're problematic because now you're becoming more self-differentiated. You've maybe become more open about the problems in the family. Maybe you're not buying into the same narcissistic regime that you were. And now I can use that to turn other people in the family against you. And they want to poison the well so that anyone who interacts with you will have to deal with a flawed character according to the narcissistic parent. Again, I'm just going to put out that character assassination so that if they have to deal with you, they always have to go, well, that's, Mary told me about Susie's affairs and da-da-da-da-da. And, again, that the narcissistic parent had picked up some of that personal information, which often they do because they're in the family. And again, information is weaponized against you. So, with these types of things, again, there are lots of things that I could say about how I could help you with those things. In a short video, it's hard to do that. I've got an online program, Your New Road to Self, which is my 45 years of experience I'm bringing, try to help you get your family out of you. I know when we go no contact, that may get our family away from us, but it may not get our family out of us. It just gets us out of the family, but not the family out of us. And that's the program that I share with folks, and I would strongly encourage you to take a look at that. So what can we do? Well, these types of things that have happened end up turning off our ability to trust and to feel supported by others. If we grew up with this happening all the time, or how many times a narcissistic parent, didn't want you to, if you're little Susie and you wanted to have a play date with Mary, but mom didn't want that to happen, mom could also throw you under the bus so Mary or her mom wouldn't want you to be together with her. And again, assassinate your character so mom gets what she wants. I don't want you playing with that little girl. They're not as rich as us. She's not as pretty as us. Whatever the crazy example would be. But I'll use that, and I don't care if I have to throw you under the bus to do it. She'll just project those things out there, or tell lies to them, so that all of a sudden Mary and her family never contact you anymore. And then you go, well, what happened to my friend Mary? I see her at school. She doesn't talk to me. Well, because the narcissistic parent has gotten involved to get what they want. And so this hurts our sense of trust and trusting others. So I encourage people to begin to trust yourself first before you focus on trusting others. Because whenever we learn not to trust others, we end up learning not to trust ourselves. They both go together. It's really kind of strange how that happens. So we want to start with trusting us first. Can I trust myself to care about me, to love me, to take care of me, to protect me, to think that I'm worthwhile and a decent person and a good person with flaws? I mean, just because you have flaws doesn't mean you can't be trusted. I have flaws, but I think I can be trustworthy. But I have flaws, many of them. And I would recommend taking a look at, again, Margaret Paul's book, Inner Bonding. That would help with beginning to trust yourself. And again, I talk a lot about inner boundaries, because I think inner boundaries are a good place to start when you're recovering as an adult child of a narcissist. When you hear inner boundaries, I want you to think detachment. That's what inner boundaries really are. Inner boundaries are another way of saying detachment. But we need those inner boundaries so that we are not as affected by other people. And if we're not as affected, doesn't mean I lose my empathy, doesn't mean I lose my caring or compassion, but I'm not caught up in their inner dialogue and caught up in managing their feelings. I don't want to be doing that, because that's going to be a mess. And that's a part of the narcissistic regime. So as you progress with inner boundaries, remember there are some simple external boundaries. And again, external boundaries could be like stop supplying personal information to people or your parent who will use it to harm you. You know, I'm just not going to share with you that information. Well, Susie, you got a new job, I heard. How much are they paying you? Well, you know what I think? I think they're paying me enough. And thanks for asking. I'm not going to tell her how much. I'm not going to tell narcissistic dad how much. I'm not going to do that, because that's going to get, oh, you're settling for too little. Oh, they're paying you too much. Oh, who knows what they might tell other people. So I want to reduce that information flow. Stop sharing your feelings with unsafe people. And I tend to focus on thinking versus feeling. With dysfunctional families, narcissists, use your head, not your neck on down. There's other places we want to use our neck on down for emotions and feelings. Thoughts are up here, feelings or emotions are down here. And you can get a list online of a list of feelings and emotions, and you can see what would be down here, and the rest is probably up here in thoughts. I think you are judging me. I feel you are judging me. That's not a feeling. That's a conclusion or a thought about you judging me. A feeling would be, when you judge me, I feel hurt. I feel angry. I feel sad. So when I experience the thought, what is the feeling? And so we begin to change what are thoughts, or we begin to separate what are thoughts and what are feelings. And that's very important for recovery as well. Play dumb, underfunction to gain more distance and detachment. We can play dumb. You know, well, why didn't you call me? Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Oh my gosh, I didn't think about it. That's underfunctioning and also playing dumb. I'm not going to get involved with your intensity. And if I actually give you a healthy reason, they're only going to argue with you. That's why I want to deal with the emotional process, not the content. Well, I didn't call you because I've been feeling mixed feelings about when I interact with you, and I don't like that very much. You can say all that if you'd like to say all that. You can. You have a right to do that. I just don't think, I think that's going to engage them at another level that you won't like having that conversation. So why am I going to waste all of that reality with them? You can. You're free to do that. And it's not wrong to tell them that. But they're not going to accept it. They're not going to like it. They're even going to use that probably against you if you give them real reasons. They'll use that against you. Well, where have you been? What have you been doing? Where have you been? Well, our dinner started 2 hours ago, and we're all done eating, and you show up. Well, I've been asking myself the same question. Hey, the food looks great. Again, we can be nonsensical at times. It's okay to be straight and say, well, this is the earliest I could get here. And that the earliest I wanted to get here, if you want to even be more. But I just think that's probably going to pull more reactivity out of them. And again, I keep saying don't worry about their process, but I want to understand their process so I stay out of it. That's why I might say, well, where have you been? We started having the meal 2 hours ago. 7 years ago, our forefathers, da da da. Now that sounds totally crazy, doesn't it? But I'm staying out of their emotional process, and I'm not dealing with the content. So what that I'm late? I can say, well, that's, sometimes I'm on time, and sometimes I'm not. That's just kind of how I am. And again, I'm not gonna engage in the fight with them. I hope that you will join the program below. I want to thank you for watching today. Please subscribe, comment, and like on this video. Have a great day, and be wise.